Okay, I will go ahead and record this, um, mainly for Trip, so that we can sort of stay in sync with what we're working on. So I've pulled up the project and want to make sure make sure our key is set up, and what we need to kind of work on here is the put feature. So we need to do an update FAQ. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start from the server, kind of show an outside in approach. Let's maybe start with a test, right? Change my prompt here a little bit. That's better. So let's create a test, and we're going to do put FAQ, and we'll call it test.js. And we're going to need tape. We're going to need fetch mock. And we're going to need test server. And we'll want to get our app. Okay, I think that's all that we need right now. Probably need more, but that's a good start. So we're going to write our test, and it's going to do a put to the API/FAQs/ID endpoint. And we need our server. And we need fetch. That was the other one. Okay, so we're going to do a fetch, and we're going to go to server.url plus API FAQs1. Let's do FAQ-1, right? Favorite FAQ all time. So we want to do a put. So we need a put method. Hang on. Tabs are off, so I need to fix that really quick. Like my code ran. Because no, there it is. That should have ran to install my plugin. I just I can't get away from Vim, and I can't use Vim in VS Code. It just doesn't work for me. So where were we? We were on our test, doing put. Okay. Now we've got a put method and headers. And need content type, application JSON, and then a body. And we'll say JSON stringify. And let's go ahead and make this a sync. And we'll get our result. Wait. And we're going to have an ID FAQ-1 and then question. What is hyper? And answer. Dot, dot, dot. And tags. Let's say hyper. Okay. That looks good. Again, await, right? Await. JSON. Okay. And then what we want to get back is probably an okay, whether it's okay or not okay. So we can say t.okay equals result.okay. And then we can do server.close. And we can do test plan 1. And that way we don't have to call test.in. All right, so our fetch mock, we want to set global this fetch equals fetch mock sandbox, and then we'll intercept the put. It'll be HTTPS dev hyper 63.com/data/tools63 and FAQ-1. That's the URL that we want to check. And then we want to just return, okay, true. All right, we got our test. Let's run it. Put FAQ test. Cool. So it can't find module tape. The yarn install. And we got that. So now let's try to run it again. Okay. So invalid JSON response, reason expected. So it sent a response in HTML, not JSON. That's one thing we can handle in our server.js, right? So we can handle errors. Pull up the handle error code and express. But basically, we want to do a default error handler. That's what we want. So We'll write it up here. Use, and it's going to be a function that returns an error, a request, and a response, and a next. So what we want to do is basically keep it simple, log out our error stack, and then we'll send a status of 500 and a JSON of okay, false, and message equals error dot message. Okay. Now, if we run our test, let's see, unexpected JSON, should have gotten JSON. Try something. Maybe it's just the placement. Don't spend too much time on this, but kind of curious. Well, let's see. Let's just see if we can't address it this way. That might be just an error with a predefined route, but because the route doesn't work, let's see. Okay. So let's just do this at all. Status 500. And it's really should be a 404, right? say not implemented. Okay. Let's run our test. Okay. And this in a paren. Cool. So now we got not implemented, got that as text. We just need to change that back to JSON. Nice. Okay, so our endpoint's not implemented, so we're going to go from the server to the API, then to the core, and then to the service. So we're kind of going outside in here. So we're going to start with the server, and we will say app.put API FAQs ID, and we'll call this FAQ put by ID. Keep with the same kind of convention. And then FAQ put by ID. Qs ID put index. Okay. We'll go into the API, FAQs ID put index. And this is a function. Actually, it's a sync function. Takes a request and a response. Like so. And because our middleware, we got a core from request, and what we can take even further is destructure this request up here to just what we need. So we need core, and we need params, and we need body, right? Pretty cool. And then from core, we can get FAQs, and then we're going to call FAQs.update and pass in params.id and body. And if there's a problem, we'll do a catch. If there's a problem, that error should be caught in our error handling. We'll test that. So now we got a result, so we should be able to return that result as res.json. Let's do result. That should be our endpoint. And if we run our test again now, I've got a typo. It's capital ID. Very cool. So if we run that now, can't read property okay if null. So got back null, which is cool. Okay. Now we've got to go to core. And we've got our FAQs. So we go into FAQs, and we've got list, create, update. Update, that's where we got the null, and that's what it returned, was null. So due to the closure, we have our services up here, and we're going to use those services. So we've got an ID and an FAQ. let's create a chain. So we'll just say services dot update, and we'll give it an ID and an FAQ like that. Now we probably want to validate the FAQ, and since we're hiding type, we probably want to deal with that too. So we'll start the chain with a sync of FAQ, and then we'll validate, and the validate returns an either, so we'll convert it back to an async type. And then we want to like add our defaults. And in this case, though, we want to add type, but we don't want to add created unless it already exists. And we probably want to add updated timestamp. And then we will chain, and in this case, we'll get the FAQ and we'll update it like that. And we may want to refactor that a little bit. Then finally, we'll verify. And then verify returns an either. So we'll chain that to a sync. And that should be it. So we want to make one adjustment with our defaults. We'll say FAQ.created or a date timestamp. Just break this down. And then updated will always be FAQ updated. Or I'm sorry, new date to ISO string. All right, so we got that. We want to share created and updated. Probably makes sense. And they're a date, but they are a string, basically. We'll make them optional. Since they're automated. Okay, so we've got that. We've got all of that. Let's give it a spin. Okay. Unexpected identifier updated. Okay, I think I probably missed a comma or something. Let's see. Did. Cool. So this time we got back an async, which is good. And we just need to convert it to a promise. So we'll go back to our API. And our put index.js. And then convert our sync to a promise. And again, this is by using a sync, we're removing all the side effects from our core. So there's no side effects in core. It's all pure. And then when this toPromise gets called, then the side effects happen. We run it now. Cool. Update services.update is not a function. That's what we're looking for. So we go to services in our index. We've got to create a get. Let's create an update. So I'm taking ID and a doc. It's all general. There's nothing about FAQs here. So we're gonna do an async fetch. And again, we're calling side effect code, but it doesn't get executed until that toPromise runs on the API layer. So in this case, we've got the ID. So we'll add that in our URL. And then we're going to do a method put and headers. We need content type. And we need authorization. Okay, cool. And then we need a body. We'll chain that to JSON. Very cool. And that's our update. We just need to add that to our exports. And then let's see how we got. Cool. We got okay, true. And ID FAQ1. Let's go to our test. And hang on 1 second. So I think we need to see why this fetch mock didn't get called, didn't get captured, because it should have. I think it might be because I need to put it above like that. There we go. Okay, good. Status. All right, so that's the update feature, at least for this round. We'll push that in, and next we'll work on delete.